What is up, guys? This morning I'm going to get some recovery mileage in the New Balance Balos V1. I said in twice, in the Balos V1. The reason why I wanted to pull for the shoot today is because I got a lot of questions yesterday on my best of 2024 video about why I didn't include this. There's a few reasons. The first is I wanted to mainly highlight shoes that had come out in the first half of the year. This guy isn't even released yet. It comes out August 1st. The other thing is it was sitting in the back of my office, and I just didn't grab it. I just forgot about it. So, oops, what happened there? Lighting drama. So yeah, I only included one unreleased shoe on that list, which is the Topo Spectre 2. I wanted to give this a little bit of some shine because it's from an unknown brand. The other thing with the Balos is this thing is $200. So today I want to do a comparison with this guy and a shoe that I did include on my 10 best list, the New Balance More V5, which is a complete banger, and it's $155. And this is something that I said yesterday in the video I did around the Brooks Ghost Max. I think these brands might have too many shoes because the way I described the More V5, soft, bouncy, rockered, comfortable, stable. You could use all those words to some degree to explain the Balos. So in this video, I want to go over what those differences are. And when we say soft, what does that mean on the More V5 versus the Balos? When we say bouncy, what does that mean? How do the rockers differ between the two? What's the stability like between the two? Because they're here in the lineup to accomplish the same thing, which is to let you run a lot of miles and keep your legs feeling fresh, or to give you some fun and comfort on your everyday runs. But they accomplish it a little bit differently. So with that, guys, let's get into it. Alright, so it is currently 5:51 a.m. I'm going to try to knock out this overview and then we can get some miles in. So New Balance Balos V1. This is the first generation of the shoe. It's a brand new model in New Balance's Fresh Foam line, and like the More V5, it is very soft. And that's the idea with this shoe, and that's the idea with a lot of these New Balance shoes in the Fresh Foam line. They want to deliver soft comfort in these packages that are pretty easy to run in. So the reason the Balos even exists, because New Balance also has the 1080, which is right here, is because they wanted to do something cool to celebrate 10 years of Fresh Foam. So Fresh Foam is the product silo, the grouping of products in the New Balance world that are designed for everyday comfort. Group is, products are. Man, we got to work on our subject-verb agreement. But what's special about this shoe and why they did it to commemorate that anniversary is they put some race foam in the midsole. So that's the key difference between the midsoles of the More V5 and the Balos. The Balos has the race foam in there. So that's going to give it a little bit more bounce. And I did a comparison with this and the 1080. And the key difference between this was, yes, it was soft, but when my foot hit the ground, it felt like it wasn't spending as much time on the ground. And combined with this curved rocker, I was maybe rolling along a little bit quicker. So it's pretty lightweight as well. You don't have that much padding on it. So you don't have that much bulk on the upper. Nice thin tongue. And the upper is actually solid. You get a little bit of room up here in the forefoot. Now, More V5, just picking it up here, it is a lot heavier. So that's going to be the benefit of the race foam that you get in the Balos. It keeps the weight light while still allowing you to get a lot of foam. So you have about 40 millimeters in the back here versus in the More V5, I've seen this measured at 44. So a little bit more foam in the More V5. I think it compresses a bit more too, though. And also look at this weird crease point here. That is a little weird, huh? That's some on-cloud behavior right there. So you get a lot of foam here, a little bit more foam than in the Balos, but it compresses more. So I'm not sure if you're getting that much more benefit from the foam, that much more protection, but it does feel very protective, very comfortable. And one of the unique things about the More V5 versus some other max cushion shoes is how curved this rocker is up front. So let's take a look at the Nova Blast here, which I just have sitting here. You can see it curves a little bit, but the rocker is not as aggressive as boom. Look at that slope. That is boom. It's doing numbers. It's like a little line chart. That's how we're trying to see the numbers go up for the rest of the year. Boop, 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 boop. This is more of a gentle roll. So not the most rockered on some of the other max cushion shoes, but the More V5 is very rockered, which makes it easier than expected for me to hit some fast paces in this guy. I hit a 6:20 pace the other day for 2 miles in this, but it's still comfortable and it's still stable. So that's another thing with the More V5. Let's take a look at the foam here. Look how they wrap the foam up the sidewalls in the More. That is going to make it a bulkier shoe. It feels like a lot of foam on foot, which the Balos does not. The Balos feels lightweight. It feels peppy. It feels like you don't have that much underfoot. But the wrap of the More V5 creates this cradle of stability. And this is going to be the option to get if you want some more stability. Because look at the Balos. Because you don't do that, it can feel a little bit squishier and squirrelier in the back. Now, let's do this upper comparison. Like I mentioned, I have had a few people tell me that even Charlie, my wife, said the More V5 fits a little short maybe, even though I think she probably needs a half size up. But I've had a few people tell me that they've gotten some blisters from the More V5. And I actually was feeling some right here on my toe. I was feeling some tightness this morning on the skin, and I was thinking, hey, I ran in the More V5 2 days ago. Did it blister me? So it's possible that the More V5 blistered me. I didn't get any blisters from the Balos, and I don't think I got any blisters from the More V5. I'm not sure, but regardless, there is some toe box narrowness in the More V5, so you might want to go up half a size, or the other thing is, or you might want to get the wide. And I'm really hesitant to go up half a size because I have this in a 10.5, which is my normal size. I have the SC Trainer V3 in an 11. I know it's a different shoe, different model line, but that fits horribly in an 11. And this fits pretty solid in a 10.5. So I'm of the mind that we should go true to size unless we're getting a lot of pain. And you might be getting a lot of pain. You might be getting a lot of pain in this in the 10.5. Just read through some of the comments on the best of video I did and on my Instagram. By the way, go follow the Instagram, Sup While Running. I'm trying to get that cranked up. We're posting 3 times a week. I'm committing. I'm trying to be accountable, so go follow me over there. Anyway, yeah, you're going to want to get the fit right on this. And then let's take a look at these uppers again. Very different uppers. These are 2 different uppers. There are some similarities and some differences. The first difference is that, what if I just did whole reviews like that? So Balos is a little bit more breathable here, and it almost has more of this performance material upper versus More V5, a little bit more of a standard training upper. I did run 12 miles and 85 degrees in this or something, and it was okay. Breathability, not the best, not the worst. Again, these things don't bother me that much, so if you have questions about how it affected other runners, drop them in the comments and hopefully they can answer. But yeah, it wasn't the worst, wasn't the best in terms of the breathability. And then Balos here, boom, look at this thing. I actually really like the way this thing looks. This was a little bit better for breathability, and I just like the way that this upper fits with the sock. They have almost a sock fit on the inside. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. Boom, see? The strap goes down all the way to just lock your foot in place. It's a really cool vibe. And all right, it's 5:58, so I want to get out there soon. But last thing I wanted to show you guys is outsoles of both of these. Bada boom, bada bing. They look the same, right? They look the same. It looks like, oh, Balos has a little bit more rubber. That's not the case, okay? So on the black, on the More V5, everything you see in black is rubber. It's decently thick. We should get some good durability. I got the 1080 V13 up to 100 miles or 300 miles and had less rubber than this. I anticipate you'll get this up to 300 miles. No problem. Durability should be pretty solid on this, and I think the foam will hold up okay. Not the best, but okay. Now, Balos, $200. This guy's the question mark because it looks like you get all this rubber, but everything you see in orange is not actually rubber. It's foam. It's what they call ground contact EVA. So it's a standard training foam that they've firmed up a little bit and put on the bottom to save weight instead of doing a traditional full coverage outsole like this. So that's a little bit of a questionable design decision for me. I wish that they went and put some, because I like the function of this ground contact EVA, and it actually does add something to the ride. It firms up the forefoot a little bit. It reinforces the rocker. It adds more forefoot stability. But I wish they just put some more rubber on top of this. I think they could have kept all that and just added a light layer of rubber to the top. So this black thing is rubber. This red thing is rubber, but the orange is not. I just don't know how we're going to do with durability. We're going to be at about 50 miles, 40 something miles, maybe 48 miles exactly after this morning's run. So we'll do 6 miles and we'll see, but we're getting chewed up pretty good back there. It reminds me of the Mach 5, which had the same sort of ground contact EVA exposed outsole that reinforced the rocker. And I did get 300 miles out of that one. It's just the Mach 5 was $140. This is $200. And I like this shoe a lot. It's just, man, it's a weird design decision that they made. I'm not sure why they would do that. It's not that, you have very lightweight shoes with good rubber coverage. Even, so take a look at this. It's not the lightest weight shoe in the world, but it's a competitor. This is the On Cloud Monster Hyper. It's a competitor in spirit to something like the Balos, because you have the race foam, the training foam. It's expensive. And look what they did with the rubber here. They also have this sort of ground contact EVA setup with the green, but then they just add all the black rubber. So this is how you do the outsole on a shoe like this. That is the one knock on the Balos. Also, the performance in the wet weather is great, so I wouldn't worry about that. If you watch my first run review, you can see I actually left an 8-minute section in there of me just running in this ridiculous storm, and the shoe is great. So grip is not going to be an issue. The grip on all these New Balance shoes this year has been great. It's just, what are you doing, bro? It's not a Hobby Jogger approved design. I'm sorry. I had to say it. We'll see how it holds up, though. Look at the shoe to 100 miles. Maybe I'll be surprised, but so far, All right, we're going to lace this up. Last thing I want to say, though, this has been my new favorite walking shoe. Was that proper tenses? This has been my new... I feel like I'm translating the Aeneid. Pull up with the pluperfect, bro. Yeah, this is my new favorite walking shoe. It dethroned the Ghost Max, except it is very squishy and squirrely. So that is one thing. Sometimes it can feel a little bit squishy and squirrely. I'm just not sure with some elements of the shoe, but I did take it out last week when we were out in San Luis Obispo. I wore this for 2 different days. The first day I wore it for probably 8 days around town, getting some sandwiches, doing some shopping for the kids. And then the next day, I wore it as my travel shoe all the way from the morning in the airport to when I got home. And it was very comfortable. It was a great shoe to have on my foot all day. I didn't even have to take it off in TSA, by the way. So extremely comfortable shoe. Great for walking. Charlie also loves the More V5 for walking. So that's the thing, guys. Look, 2 very similar shoes. But let's go lace up the Balos, take it out for some miles, and then I'll talk to you about which one of these I think is going to be best for you. All right? Man, these Saturday morning early runs are turning into my favorite of the week because I've usually accumulated enough mileage at this point where I can just do four or 6 miles. I don't do any coffee before. I just get up and go. And it's the nicest, most relaxing, calmest run of the week because it's short, it's sweet, and I know I get to spend some family time after. And I usually get some pretty good light and shadows and just beautiful scenes. It's a vibe, bro. These Saturday morning runs, complete vibe. So yeah, plan is going to be 6 miles. I did a similar run in the Balos a few weeks ago. And one of the things that I have liked about this thing so far is it has been pretty versatile. I've been able to drop it down to 640, 650, 7 flat pace, which is a little bit of a faster everyday pace for me. And then I've also been able to do true recovery, very relaxed pace in the 8s, which is typically where I run these runs because I've just rolled out of bed and haven't had any coffee. All right, let's go get some miles in. What do you guys think? All right, we just hit mile 1. I'm not gonna check my pace because that's not the goal of this run. The goal of this run is to get it done and to be back before everybody wakes up. But man, this is a soft, smooth, comfortable shoe. It feels like I'm floating on top of this. There is no aggression whatsoever. And that's the cool thing about what they've done with this rocker and how curved the bottom is. It usually makes a shoe feel more aggressive, like in the Mach 6. That's not the case here because it's so soft. So I think this is probably up there with most comfortable shoe that I've tested this year. I don't know if it's the most or one of the most, but man, it is up there. There's absolutely nothing harsh or aggressive about the Balos. And I think the More V5 is even a little bit more aggressive due to the rocker. But yeah, grip is great over some of this wet stuff. And it feels completely natural for me to be running this recovery pace. All right, mile 3, we were halfway through. Kind of wish I could be done. Legs are feeling a little bit heavy, but regardless, what's really coming through on this run for me versus the More V5 is the lightweight. This shoe feels like the Rebel on foot, very lightweight, but a lot bouncier and just super easy to run in. The low drop is working for it.
The race foam in there is working for it. And the fit is awesome. And unlike a lot of other shoes with the race foam, this isn't locking me into a certain pace. Feels like I can run whatever pace I want. Whole squad out here getting it. We're almost home geographically, but I actually have another 1.5 miles. I'm telling you guys, sometimes these 6 milers feel longer than the 12s. But I'm picking up the pace just a little bit to test this guy with some faster pace. And they do have a lot of pop. It's like the Rebel. It doesn't feel that speedy and remarkable at slower paces, but then when you pick it up, the race foam comes alive. So this is a shoe I could throw down some workouts in. All right. Can you even see that? I always do this. All right, boom. 6 miles, 8:20 pace, 50 minutes and 6 seconds. And this is the thing I was telling you guys about yesterday with my paces. My everyday pace is supposed to be from, 640 to 740, 750. I'm not always hitting those. Some days I'm pulling up with the 820 because I just RD'd this run. No coffee. And that is the thing. Whenever I roll out of bed straight into these runs, I'm so much slower. Whenever we do a first run review, because I filmed for so much before and I'm jazzed up, usually a little bit faster. But 820, nice recovery mileage this morning. And this is a great shoe for that. It feels like, so this is what I was thinking as we were cruising in for this last, 800 meters here. This feels like, the way to think about it is the best version of a Nike Vomero. This is the best a Vomero could get. It's still a daily shoe. It's still easy to run in. It's not aggressive, it's not harsh, it's not overly bouncy, but it has that softness that Nike's going for with the Zoom X. And it has a lower drop than the Vomero. That's one of the issues, the 10 millimeter drop. So that's the way I would think about the Balos, and it's been hard for me to really frame this shoe. I think the last time I said it was like the 1080 mixed with the Mach 5, which is very similar to what it is too, but think about it like a better Nike Vomero, an everyday shoe. Not the Nike Invincible necessarily, because it still does have more of that daily character. And I know some people use the Invincible as a daily trainer, but this does feel a little bit more normal than the Invincible, which is why I'm saying Vomero. Now, more V5 here. This is the cushiony thick boy. Nothing like a Vomero. Tons more cushion. So let's go down to the street. We can get this true breakdown in, baby. Let's go. Pretty sure I did half the Ghost Max video yesterday, Ghost Max 2 video, with the lens dirty. Is that even any better? Bro, I'm not a videographer. I'm a hobby jogger. This is just... I don't know. Alright, fellas, we got... You like that one? Fellas, I should put that on a hat. Fellas. What is that? What is it short for? Fella. Fellow. Good fellow. So we got 6 miles on the Balos V1 this morning. By the way, I started calling this the Balos V1 and then we just... Alright, 6 miles in the Balos V1, nice recovery mileage. This thing is completely broken in. It's softened up and mellowed out, and it's got its true character. We have about 50 miles on it now, and a lot of those actually, probably a little bit more if you were to count. And is that lichen or is that poop? We need to do a little cleanup on this guy. But we have a lot of actually walking and casual use for the shoe, and it's been great. And then earlier this week, we got 12 miles in the More V5. This guy is up past 30 now. So 2 soft shoes, 2 fun shoes, 2 comfortable rocker, slightly bouncy shoes. But key differences between these, again, you're gonna wanna think of the Balos V1 as the best version of something like the Nike Vomero, even the best version of something like the Rebel V4. It still has a simple, streamlined, stripped down character to it, even though it does have a tall stack height, even though it does have the race foam mixed in, even though it's very soft, it still, look at this, it still has that flexibility. That's why I'm saying it's a little bit of a simpler shoe. It still gives you some connection to the ground, some feeling of the purity, the simplicity of running, which I love. It's like an elevated version of the Rebel. I was gonna say it's like an elevated version of the SL2, but that's a great shoe. It doesn't need to be elevated. It's like a lower drop version, wider version of something like the SL2. So that's how I think about the Balos V1. You're gonna wanna get this one if you want an everyday running shoe that's not the most protective, that's not the highest stack. Yes, the numbers, I don't wanna focus on the numbers, I wanna focus on the feel. The feel of this is not max cushion cruiser. It's fun, everyday shoe, like the Mach 5. That's also why I like the Vomero 17, and I actually compared that. I said that was the the Batman Christian Bale to the Mach 5's American Psycho Christian Bale. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This is not like Christian Bale. This is like Timothy Chalamet or something, some new guy coming on the scene, right? This is a new version of what those shoes can be, but still very lightweight, still easy to turn over the legs. And that's what I'm saying. Even though I'm running an 8:20 pace and complaining for some of the run, it's easy to run in this thing. And I'm only complaining because I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm still out here spitting bars. No caffeine, bro. I don't even need caffeine. Somebody said that I looked like a shiny skeleton when I was out here. Bro, this shiny skeleton is about to throw down a 4:54 mile. After eating 3 vegan gluten-free donuts. Bang. Yeah, streamlined, simple, really easy to run in, really comfortable. It retains the DNA of what a daily trainer is. This is most certainly a daily trainer. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, actually. What does it mean when we say daily trainer? And I try to not use the jargony, nerdy running terms all the time. I try to say everyday running shoe. And that's something that I was thinking about with this guy, because this is a shoe that a lot of people would run in every day and would like to run in every day. But does that make it a daily trainer? That's a really good question, right? Is this a daily trainer? What's the difference between a daily trainer and a max cushion shoe? Because a shoe, we say the definition of max cushion shoe is you got to have 40 millimeters of stack or above 36 millimeters of stack. You could still run in a max cushion shoe every day. Look at the Nova Blast 4. That has 42 millimeters of stack. But the spirit of what a daily trainer is a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more connected. You don't get all the gigantic stack and impact absorption. You do still have to do some of the work of running. And that's what this guy gives you. This guy deadens all the impact with the super aggressive rocker here. That shifts it almost, it's weird to say, to like a speed training category, but I was throwing a 6:20 pace down in this, and it's definitely not a speed training shoe. I would go for the Balos if I were trying to hit some really fast top end stuff just because of the lightweight. But the rocker does make it easier for me to hit some faster paces. I could throw down marathon pace in this. If you're a 4-hour marathoner, 5-hour marathoner, and want a very comfortable shoe, boom, this is gonna be great. If you're gonna do some walk run stuff, this is gonna be great. But is it a daily trainer in the classic meaning of the term? No, it's not, because of all the stack and the protection. And so I actually wanna put together a list of some of these weird running terms that we use and what they mean, so we can strip away some of the difficulty that sometimes it is, the veneer of elitism, okay? Just because I say daily trainer and someone doesn't know what that means, that doesn't make me better. That doesn't make anyone better. But the point being, this does not feel simple. It's a lot heavier on foot. it's really wide, and that's something we're seeing across a lot of shoes on the market now, but it feels even wider in the Balos. The Balos is pretty wide itself to add some more stability, but this is even wider. It gives it a lot more of an unnatural feeling, and it still is easy to run in, but it's not a shoe that necessarily feels like there's nothing there. I can feel that we have all this stack. I can feel that this shoe is cradling my foot. I can feel the rocker tipping me along. This gives me a lot more help than the Balos and then a lot of other max cushion everyday shoes. So this is a great shoe if you want something to deaden the impact. If you're looking for a recovery shoe or a high mileage running shoe to help you hit new levels and to be super comfortable, that's this guy. Balos can also do that, but it's not going to give you as much protection. The stability is also not as good. The stability is way better in this thing because look at this. They wrap up the foam and they cradle it so that it's just locking your foot in place. So your foot is actually sitting down probably halfway through here versus in the Balos, you don't get as much of that wrap effect. I don't think you actually get any in the heel here. You do get a little bit in the midfoot, and because this foam is so soft, look at this. You see that? Look how soft that is. It can get a little bit squirrely, which is not the case at all in the More V5. This is one of the most comfortable shoes. This is one of the most stable. I said most comfortable. It is one of the most comfortable. It's one of the most stable shoes. Now, fit on this thing, as I mentioned earlier, that's going to be a key consideration. The Balos fits a little bit wider for me, a little bit more forgiving. The More V5 is narrow, and Charlie said she actually had to size, what was it? Charlie got true to size, but she should have sized up half a size. I just need to start requesting 10.5s for her, and that'll be easier for me to remember because I always forget her size, but I'm 10.5, and now she's gonna be 10.5, and our anniversary is June 19th. It just happened, and her birthday is July 30th. I know everything, okay? I'm a good husband. This is the one to get if you want cushioned, out of control comfort. It still has some balance. It's still easy to turn over the legs. It's just not going to be as lightweight as the Balos. I also think newer runners, I would go for the More V5. This is everything you need. A lot of cushion, a lot of support. The Balos could be good for some newer runners as well, but it's $200, and this is kind of a running shoe nerds type of a shoe in my opinion, because it's not that much better than what you could get for 140 or 160, but it's almost like if you've tried everything else out there, if you've tried the Rebel, if you've tried the 1080, and you just need to get a little bit of a fix of something 7% different, that's the Balos. And it is a really good shoe, but I think if I'd never tried the Rebel before, or I'd never tried the 1080 before, I'd be just as happy with those at $140 and $165. But this guy is the best max cushion shoe on the market right now. This is the best at what it's doing by a far margin, by a country kilometer. Shout out to all my soccer fans out there putting in work down in Australia, out in the UK. I love you guys. Hobby Jogger hats coming soon. I'm still trying to figure out the shipping internationally. I know you guys think I'm just holding out on you. I was losing money on the last hat. If you have any ideas for how to do international shipping without losing your mortgage and your house, let me know. I think this section is dragging on a little bit too long, so More V5, a lot of cushion, comfort, and support. This is the cruiser. This is the one to get if you want protection. This is a little bit lighter weight. If you want something for faster everyday miles, that's going to be the Balos. Also very versatile, just a little bit more of a simple, connected shoe. I also love the way this thing looks. If anyone out there who is watching and knows me personally, this matches like how my closet looks. All the weird J. Crew stuff I have in the reds and the blues. So it's almost like I feel a New Balance designed this shoe for me. So I do love this shoe, and if I were gonna pick one of these shoes to run in every day, I would probably take the Balos because of the simplicity. But then again, for marathon training, the support, the stability, the comfort, and the cushion of the More V5 is nice. But definitely heavier, definitely the Max Cushion Cruiser. Lighter, faster, peppier, more streamlined Balos V1. That's all I have for you today, guys. I still got to do some walking in the More V5 because I want to do a little bit of a walking test in it. And man, does it feel a little bit, it does feel a little bit heavy. But I had no issues with that coming up at to 12 miles. But with that, guys, I'll be back tomorrow for another video. Up your best. One more thing, guys. Man, those two shoes look good. New Balance is just absolutely killing it. Look at the rockers. the foam. Man, it's a good time to be a fan of these shoes because there's just hit after hit out here like Big Poppy Ortiz. 2004, baby, let's go. And we have a quiet house, look at that. I hear some stirring, but I beat the rush. We beat the rush. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. All right, guys, one more thing. We're going to hit the farmer's market real quick. So, well, it's not going to be quick. We're going to do a nice leisurely trip to the farmer's market. But I'll pop this thing back on to do a little walking report of the More V5 because I've not done that yet. And just right away, I can tell you this feels so much bulkier and so much more substantial on foot than the Balos. It's not even funny. All right, we're going to move the trike so we don't hit it. And I'll see you in a bit. You getting on it, buddy boy? Yeah. Can you say go Celtics? Go Celtics. Secure the bag. Get into the bread, baby. Let's go.
You wanna hold it?
It's a nice Jeep, huh? There they are. Oh, it's another nice Jeep.
Yeah.
It's just Jeep Central. Look at that Supwell shirt. Bang.
Hold on. This is not vegan.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot eat that, but it looks fire. What flavor did you get, Mace?
I got almond.
Almond? Vanilla almond or just regular almond?
Almond. Triple almond.
Triple almond, ooh.
They were out here, sold out of everything.
So apparently this building was built in 1775. Who would have thought? Right here in downtown Matthews. Looks like the shoe market in here. So they have a slow manifesto here. They really take it to heart because it takes about 17 minutes to get a latte, but the product's good. Over here, please.
All right, guys, it is 10:13. Wow, it is only 10:13 a.m. and we have had a full day already. And I just did some walking testing. Is that the right way to say it? I did a walk test, a casual use test, a vibes check test in the More V5 to the farmer's market. We got a lot of great stuff. I think we're probably going to get some tofu scramble for lunch with the bread. It's going to be fire. And so More V5, this is a great walking shoe. That was my takeaway. It is so comfortable, man. This thing completely takes the pressure off of my legs, and the additional support that you get in the heel versus the Balos is nice. So I think most people, again, are going to prefer the More V5. That's my takeaway. You get more cushion, you get more comfort. It's also a little bit of a denser feeling foam, which makes it heavier for running and a little bit bulkier on foot. But that's kind of nice when I'm out there because it feels more supportive. And again, all that structure and support in the wrapping of the sidewalls that I get in the heel feels really nice. Now, the thing to note is the fit. So I did want to show you where my foot comes right here. It comes right up to the end, and it's not bothering me too much. But some people, again, have noted that the toe box is too snug in here. And I do actually have a blister on my toe, but I'm not sure if it's from this shoe or one of the dozens of other shoes I've been testing recently. So great walking and casual use shoe, More V5. This is going to be another great one. If you need a shoe for standing, being on your feet all day, I would put this up there with the Brooks Ghost Max. The Balos is nice and it's fun for me to use this around town, but it is super soft. It feels softer underfoot than the More V5, and I think more people
will be satisfied with the More V5 as that casual use and walking shoe, just due to the extra stability and support. So that's all I have for you today, guys. We're going to get into some shenanigans with the kiddos at some point. Remember to order your Hobby Jogger hat. If you have not, look at this. Looking clean. We got the 5-panel and everything. This is the Supwell certified design. The link is below. Order your shoes through my Running Warehouse links, and I'll see you tomorrow.